Hello. Um, so tonight I've got some uh, info for you about the ACT and semicolons and colons, and we're going to have a good time talking about those. So there should be, hi Natalia, there should be a few students joining. Lulu, are you in here? Yeah, you are. Lucy's in here. Okay, good. So at least a few of you have gotten in here who are supposed to be. Some of you basically have an assignment to be here. There's only a few of you. But anyway, we're going to get started talking about semicolons and colons. We've got a couple minutes before 7. Hey, I can hear the feedback in there, Lulu. Turn it down. My daughter is listening because she's a junior this year, and we need to get her a 30 plus in the ACT. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Oh, you're on Caitlin's account. Good to see you. I'm pretty sure STFU means what I think it does. Hi, Stu, Maisie. So let's get this. I'm so excited because it's okay. I don't care. The nice thing about doing live streams here is that I can talk about things that I can't really talk about in TikTok live streams. Originally, and I've said this 100 times, I went to TikTok to give free ACT advice. Natasha, we're alive. Natalia and Natasha, I love you. I've hardly done anything for a week on social media, just because it's just been a rough week. I mean, last 2 weeks have been rough. But anyway, good to see you guys. So I know there are a couple of people that should be here that aren't, but they've still got a minute. Anyway, so is everybody good? As I'm going to talk about colons and semicolons. Now, obviously this applies to like standardized testing and stuff, but you guys, knowing the difference between a semicolon and a colon is really important, and teachers don't go over it. Maisie, right? Well, my name was never great to start with. I shortened middle of nowhere to MONW. But you just get stuck with things. It's crazy. Yeah, hey, I'm good. You also hope you're getting better. Thank you. I'm a lot better today. I did a TikTok live stream and did my hair and did a tiny bit of makeup. Not great, but it's been, and I've got allergic reactions to things, but it's all good. Okay, I've got probably one more here who might be a student. Anyway, so we're going to talk about colons and semicolons, and then open it up for any kind of like talking thing. So this, as you guys know, the official ACT prep guide is what I use to tutor for the ACT. And, this is all you really need if you study it, okay? We're going to talk about semicolons and colons. Now, the semicolon is the thing with the period on top and the comma at the bottom. And the colon is the thing with like the two periods on top of each other, right? So on the ACT, the only way you're going to see those used is in place of a period, capital letter. Now, I know in your English classes, you learn that a colon sometimes introduces items in a series, and the semicolon sometimes starts sentences like, however, no, that's a comma, like a semicolon, however, comma, so it'll separate different kinds of sentences. But I want you to know that the ACT really uses the semicolon and the colon in like one specific way. And that is, it's literally the semicolon separates two independent clauses, and the period or the colon separates two independent clauses, just like a period does. It's just that you don't really have to know much difference between them. And I'm going to show you some examples. And it's like crazy, like how prescriptive it is. So for those of you who do have this book, the new one, 2021, I'm going to have you go to number 33 in there, and it's on page 47. So the first test, page 47, number 33. I was so blind last week when I was going through this test that I literally thought this was semicolon, but it's a colon. Anyway, for number 33, there's a comma, a semicolon, a colon, and then nothing, right? Well, we've got Anderson believed the opposite, which is one independent clause. And then everyone would want the internet is another independent clause. Why? Subject, verb, subject, verb. So we need something that's going to stop in between both of those, which means I either need a period capital, or I need a semicolon, or I need a colon. Now, if you want to know the rule, like the colon is used if the second one is dependent upon the first, like if it shares more information. And if you look at those four, there's only one that gives me a definite stop, and that is just the colon. You don't have to know all of the types of ways or phrases or how to do that stuff. It's just that that's the only one that gives us a solid stop. And on the ACT, the colon will be used if the second part of the sentence is dependent upon the first part. So if it's an independent clause combined together, but you don't even have to know that. It's just a hard stop. Like, do you need a period in between those? If you do, there's no period there. There's no semicolon unless it starts because, and because is a word that makes a dependent. So I don't want a dependent clause separated by a hard stop, which is a semicolon. So a period, a semicolon, or a colon can be what I call a hard stop in between sentences. You just think at it this way. Like, there are so many ways to teach grammar and so many phrases people use. Just know, boom, I have to stop it. And the only way I can is with something that's like straightforward, like boom. I can't do it with a comma. I can do it with a comma and, because that is a comma plus a fanboy that combines two independent clauses. But just know that that's what that colon does. And I've got a couple other examples for you to look at for semicolons and colons, okay? If you go to page 53 in the new one, I think it's number 67. So it's actually page 52. Number 67, you see there after Arctic, you have choices for, you've got a comma, then an and without a comma, and you've got a semicolon, and you've got nothing, right? Well, you have to decide, do I need a period there? If I need a period, I'm going to choose the semicolon. So I've got, she led her team to the farthest reaches of the Arctic. Boom, that's complete by itself. And then we've got, in 1938, the group anchored close south of the North Pole. So those are two separate ideas. They're complete in themselves, and the only way I can put them together is by putting a period, a comma and, a semicolon, or a colon. And the only choice I have of those four is the semicolon. So it has to be the one that's a semicolon. You don't have to be afraid of the semicolon and the colon. It's just that your English teachers mostly don't teach you how to use them, and they especially don't teach you how they're used on standardized tests. And then if you go to, I think there's a couple other examples. I'm going to show you one where you know neither one is the right answer. If you go to page 353 in the 2021 book, number 47, you see that they've got 4 choices there. If you look at B has a period capital, and C has a comma, and then D has a semicolon, and then the other one doesn't have anything between it. But the thing is, it can't be the period or the semicolon, because in those instances, it is the same weight. Like, it has the same weight. So a lot of the boys that I tutor love this trick, because so I can cross out B and C because they're equal weight. And on the ACT, you have to remember, if 2 answer choices are of equal weight or basically the same, neither one is the answer. There are no shades of meaning here on the ACT. So I'm going to get rid of both B and C, and I've got, and stood 10 meters tall, because it starts with an although, which makes it the first part worth less than the second part. So I just need the comma to separate them. But if I can't hard pause between those, because neither those sets can't stand on their own. If I've got a subject, verb, those stand on their own, separated with a period capital, a semicolon, a colon. But if there aren't 2 independent ones, leaving, oh no, it's true. Like, you need to know how to use these things, and it will improve your writing. The thing about learning stuff for the ACT, they want you to be good writers. That's the deal. And they want you to utilize these things so that you sort of improve how you communicate. And they don't want you to use, things incorrectly, right? So that's why they test you on this stuff. And that's true, Natasha. It won't hurt you to sort of learn this stuff. But and that's kind of the skinny on the that's the skinny on the ACT using the colon and the semicolon. You basically, if you have two independent clauses, I ate lunch at school. In order to separate those two, I either need a period, capital, I ate lunch, period, I ate lunch at school. I mean, nobody would say that sentence. Or you could separate it with a semicolon, or honestly, you could separate it with a colon because the second sentence is dependent upon the first, or the second independent clause is dependent upon the first. Like it explains where you ate lunch. But I wouldn't separate that with a comma. That would be a comma splice. And if I had no punctuation there, that's what we call a run-on sentence. So that's just kind of like explaining that a little bit more. Now, I was tutoring last week and earlier today talking about the difference between, this is another thing you guys need to know. You have to know the difference between lying and laying. So lying is made from lie, L-I-E. Laying is made from lay, L-A-Y, right? So if I lay something down, I set it down. It is an action. Laying, so I am laying, I might lay it out, right? Lying is a state of resting. It's already resting on something. So the Coke is lying on the book. I mean, that doesn't make much sense, but it's not laying on the book, it's lying on the book. So if you have to tell the difference between laying and lying, lay is an action, lie is rest. Now, if you look up the whole chart of lay and lie and have lain, all that, it's going to mess you up, but you can look it up. But in general, you just need to know that lie is something at a state of rest. Lay is an action. So I am lying down is what you're doing. You are not laying down. Laying down is an action. So if you are in the process of lying down, you are prone and you are resting. So it's lying. I tell people if you are laying down, you are copulating with a duck. Look that up. It means you're doing some action that's inappropriate to an animal with feathers. I'm laying down. No, you're not laying down. Laying is an action, right? Lying is rest. So say, I'm going to go lie down. No, you're going to go, or yes, you're not going to go lay down. If you go lay down, I'm going to lie. I'm going to rest. That's where I'll be. I'll be in a resting state. I'm not going to go have relations with a duck's feathers. That's it. And that's how I used to always tell kids too. I'm sure that some seniors' parents were upset that I was teaching that in school, but I don't care. I did it anyway. So anyway, those are kind of your tips for tonight. And I'm trying to keep these to about 15 minutes, these little like preview thingies. If you have any questions about what we've talked about, or you want to talk to me, you're going to hang out. I should be this week, you guys, getting back to a decent online schedule. So I should be getting back to like the crafts and that sort of thing. So if you're here for that, woohoo, love you, miss you, and those things will be more fun. But these Sunday night things I've tried to keep up with even as I had COVID, because it's really important for me to do that. But Instagram, I will be announcing, like I'll be doing a YouTube live where I talk about the walking journey that I want y'all to take with me. So I've got a map and I've got these little those little pins that you put in the map, and I'm going to walk to the beach. That's my goal, is to walk to the beach. So I'm going to walk around here and then chart my progress. And I have 1,378 miles to walk before I get to go to the beach. But I need to go to the beach. Don't you guys? You want to go to the beach? Like seriously, we all need to go to the beach. So chart how many miles it is to your beach and try to at least walk that. I don't care if you're 100 miles from the beach. Chart it on and give yourself, in 100 days, you could walk to, if you're 100 miles away, in 100 days, you could walk to the beach if you walk a mile a day. If it's 300 miles away, you could go 3 miles a day. Anyway, so I'm literally going to try to walk 1,378 miles in the next like 6 or 7 months and then fly to the beach. And I'd love to meet all of you there. But I'm going to do a YouTube where I explain my walk to the beach challenge. And I did a friends only video on YouTube, or I mean on TikTok, asking for like hashtags. We're going to hashtag it and we're going to like do that together. And I'd love you guys to, Ireland, oh my gosh, 3-minute walk to the beach. I'm so jealous. Like, you don't understand. Being landlocked here in the United States is just the worst thing. So we're going to start that challenge, and I'm going to put that on. I'm going to put that on Instagram, and then I'm starting a new mom's page on TikTok, which should be fun. I've got so many things to do this week. I've got to clean up business from last year, but it's been a rough start. The end of December and January have been rough for me. I mean, for Brian too, but we're starting to come out of the the COVID issues. We don't really have it anymore. We just still have leftover symptoms. But hi, all of you who joined. Good to see you, Natasha, Natalia. I miss you guys. It was just a rough time. I did wake up for like a couple hours a day and try to do some TikToks to keep up with what was going on. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go now. Remember, I will be going back to the more fun, like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be doing I'll at least put in my craft one next Saturday. I know it's been a long time, but dude, we were so sick. I couldn't stand. Even now I'm still sitting. Like, normally, you know, when I do a lot of these things, I stand up. No, that's not happening. So I'm going to let you guys go. We're going to have some fun. But, you know, follow along. If you are a student of mine, hi, hope you like watched this and got something out of it. But if you guys have any questions about anything I ever cover in here, this is time for you to ask those questions. Anything before I go? I can hear the lag, and my daughter's listening to this. Anything else, you guys? No? There's still 7 of you in here. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? You just want to say hi and love up each other? No? There's got to be a lag. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. Anyway, that was just a quick little review of semicolons and colons. You guys are awesome. And come back next Sunday if you want more test stuff. If you know people who, yeah, we'll go back to the craft lives on Saturday. They'll be fun. But if you know anybody who needs testing tips, who needs English explained, I'm the person to do it. Yes. Good to see you guys, okay? I'll talk to you later.